Shalom. This week we are reading the Torah portion of Kedoshim, beginning with verse 1 of chapter 19 in the book of Vayikra, Leviticus. Parashat Kedoshim opens with the command, and HaShem spoke to Moshe saying, "Speak to the entire congregation of the children of Israel and say to them, you shall be holy, for I, HaShem your God, am holy." This portion is so important and its message so imperative that it was given over to the entire nation, men, women, and children, in assembly. Since the portion begins with this exhortation, it would follow that the key to understanding this command, the command to be holy, is what comes next. That the definition of holiness must be outlined in this parsha. It would follow that the holiness required of all of Israel is comprised of, exemplified by, manifest in all the mitzvot included here. So a proper study of Parashat Kedoshim, I would think, should afford us our best understanding of the nature of holiness. Now, the adjective holiness is defined as dedicated or consecrated to God or a religious purpose, sacred. But the verse states, "You shall be holy, for I, HaShem your God, am holy." So the Torah is commanding Israel to be holy as HaShem is holy. In this regard, the Torah's definition of kadosh, holy, really conveys the idea of being set apart, of being totally separate from anything else. God is totally unique and incomparable to anything else. So simply put, to be holy like Him means to be separate. So, does that mean we would have to separate from the world? Is that what it means to be separate? I mean, how could we be holy but be a part of this world? Indeed, people tend to think of holiness as being quite a lofty level, certainly worthy to strive for, but unattainable to most. To be holy like God, it would seem that that could apply only to a very few and select individuals who live a life apart, who are separate from the crowd. That's some people's idea of holiness. But the verse emphasizes that this is one of the very few portions of Torah which was given over in assembly to all of Israel at once, men, women, and child. A call to the entire nation with no exceptions. Speak to the entire congregation of the children of Israel and tell them, "You shall be holy, for I, HaShem your God, am holy." This is the deepest idea in the world, so open up your heart in the deepest way. Because the Torah is telling us that the goal to be holy is required of each person, and therefore it must be within reach to achieve. Now, Parashat Kedoshim is full of commandments, 51 in all. Some of these commandments fall into the category known as Ben Adam Lemakom, between man and God. These include prohibitions against idolatry, a false oath, and forbidden mixtures, the commandment of Shabbat, reverence for the temple, and rules pertaining to the sacred offerings, agricultural laws applicable in the land of Israel, laws against following the ways of the nation, such as Molech and sorcery and magical practices, tattoos, and more. Definitely aspects of living a holy lifestyle. So, is that what it means to be holy? To fulfill God's will in ways that only He appreciates? I mean, keeping commandments that God gives us, that sets us apart. That's very holy, right? Pious. But our question remains, this call to holiness, this responsibility with which Israel is charged, what is it? What is holiness, and how is it manifest? You shall be holy, for I, HaShem your God, am holy. The other type of mitzvot, divine commandments, are those in the category known as Ben Adam Lechavero, those that apply between man and his fellow man. Keeping these properly is a lot harder and a much greater challenge than keeping those commandments that are only between man and God. It's easy to be pious when it's just me and God, and at the same time to be exploitive or manipulative or just plain nasty to my fellow man. What was it that Charles M. Schulz's character Linus said in the comic strip Peanuts? "I love mankind. It's people I can't stand." So open up your heart in the deepest way. HaShem loves people. So to be holy like Him, according to Torah, it's measured exclusively by how we treat others. And honestly, nothing else matters. We can act really pious and be very scrupulous when it comes to things that have nothing to do with social interaction. But the only true and accurate measure of a person is how he or she treats others. So yes, we examine our Parsha to see what holiness is. This portion of Kedoshim includes prohibitions against stealing and making a false oath. One is obligated to pay a worker on time. Talebearing and all forms of cheating are forbidden. One must use honest weights and measures and engage in honest business practice. One is obligated to give the other the benefit of the doubt. It's forbidden to curse anyone or to trip them up in any way. One is obligated to help the other in a time of distress. To fulfill these commandments, one has to be very much involved in this world. These are mitzvot that can't be accomplished through prayer or meditation. They can't be fulfilled by living separate from this world, by living an ascetic life. Yet they do require separation in a way, separation from the world, in the sense that this world is overrun by corruption and selfishness and violence. That's what we have to be separate from, yet very much in this world. The call to holiness of Parashat Kedoshim and its array of commandments informs us that the concept of holiness is expressed by the way a person relates to others, not only the way he relates to God, the way he treats other people, the way he conducts his business and finances, as well as the way he tills the soil of this earth and relates to its produce, the way he acts in and reacts to society. The Torah's vision of a truly holy individual is one who appreciates his family unit and keeps it close, who treats others well, who's just in his ways. His holiness touches every area of his life. Like the verse says, Proverbs 3:6, know him in all your ways, and he will smooth your paths. The individual whom the Torah considers holy is not the one who remains aloof from society, meditating in an ivory tower so that he or she will not be bothered or tempted by the world, nor one who engages in bold acts of piety, but rather the holy person is the one who uses Torah as a guide to be the most involved with every aspect of this very human life, right here in the very midst of this world. And this person operates out of a desire to reveal the godliness in every area of life. A true servant of HaShem has to be involved with people. So holiness is not about extreme actions of piety which cause a person to separate from life, but the opposite. The more a person is involved with others and conducts himself justly, the holier the Torah would consider him. And this is the deepest idea. And actually, this can be seen as a direct connection to last week's Torah portion of Acharei Mot, concerning the untimely death of Aaron's sons Nadav and Avihu. Everyone knows that while there are many levels of interpretation, one understanding of their sin, of the unauthorized offering, the strange fire, was that they were so inspired by the presence of the Shekhinah, the divine presence in the tabernacle, on the day of its dedication, they never wanted to come down from their high. They wanted their elation to last forever, so that they would always feel that God was so close. But he always is so close, and their mistake, according to this idea, was in thinking that they had to do something extraordinary to maintain their level of inspiration. True holiness, concern for others, and proper conduct is so missing from the world today. We live in a time in which the divine image in which man was created is trampled upon daily. Our portion of Kedoshim, holy, indeed teaches us, broadcasts to us a message loud and clear, the meaning of what it is to be holy. To be a part of this world, but to be a part by amplifying its beauty, not sinking in its potential for depravity. Social justice, not to steal, slander, or lie, not to hate, not to bear a grudge or take revenge, to pay a worker on time, not to deliberately trip up another person, not to fool someone with inaccurate weights and measures. Sexual morality also expressed in our portion. All these thoughts are so apropos during these days of Sfirat HaOmer, the counting of the Omer, as we focus on our midot, our character traits, and attempt to emulate the divine attributes and realign ourselves with our true spiritual essence, addressing those areas of our lives in which our behavior is lacking. Among other mitzvot which focus on relationships and how the other should be treated, our parsha features the famed dictum, and you shall love your fellow as yourself. Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha, chapter 19 and verse 18. The Talmud relates the story of a heathen who came before the great sage Hillel and said, "Make me a convert on the condition that you teach me the entire Torah while standing on one foot." Hillel replied, while standing on one foot, "What is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. That is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Go and learn it." And years later, the revered teacher Rabbi Akiva famously said of this verse, "This is a major principle of the Torah." Indeed, this major principle is the entire Torah on one foot. All the rest is commentary. Go learn it.